What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back, and it is time for a big match preview. Big game tomorrow night. Sunderland versus Leeds United. Top of the table versus a team that needs to get to the top of the table. It's going to be a tough one, and we're going to get into that in just a moment. Before I continue, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, of course, drop your comments below. And listen, just looked at the analytics now. There's like 30% of you that are not subscribed to the channel that watch. So why not just click the subscribe button, make it easy for yourself, and come back, whether you're enjoying it or hating it. You can keep a track of it by subscribing. You know what I mean? Listen, and shout out to all my members of the channel. Listen, Annabelle, who's just joined the channel as well, just replied to a comment on her in the members section. Thank you for joining. Thanks to all existing members. Really does mean a lot. And if you want to become a member of the channel, the link is in the description. Afternoon to everyone that's joining and people that are watching the replay. Afternoon, morning, noon, and night. You know how it goes, people. Now, we're going to speak about Sunderland versus Leeds United. Of course we are. But you know what happened yesterday. And you know, this channel is very much where I want this club to go, where I need this great football club to be back amongst again. And that's amongst the elite. And in order to get there, you have to understand what you have to do to get there. And last night, watching as a Leeds United fan, watching the Villa Bayern Munich, I was like, damn, it should have been us. It should have been us. You know, that Dolph Ziggler meme. It should have been me. I couldn't help but watch it and just think, wow, how Villa got this so right. Hyru, you know I was going to talk about it. You've been here long enough. You know it was coming. So listen, for people that don't care about where Leeds United need to go, this section won't be for you. You know, if you want to just concentrate on Leeds stuff, that'll come later. You know, use the fast forward button, as Jay-Z would say. Let me just say, everything that Aston Villa did yesterday. Now, I don't know where Villa are going to go in this competition. I don't know if they're going to win it. I don't know if they're going to get to the semi-finals. Who knows? But from where they appointed Unai Emery, from the time when we were both jostling at the bottom of the league, tussling down there, to be where they were yesterday, it felt like it just culminated into that result yesterday. Bayern Munich unbeaten in 41 group games. Villa and Unai Emery are the first ones to hand them the defeat. And it's one of these things where I looked at it and I looked at Unai Emery, and this is where you see great managers. And that's where you just have to, that's where you get a feeling for these guys. That's why I get so passionate about like Jose Mourinho, Pep, all these guys. And Unai Emery is in that conversation because Aston Villa have a style of play. And last night they changed it. They adapted to the game. Unai Emery is a master of European competition. He's a serial winner in Europa League. And he knew he couldn't play that way against Bayern Munich. So he changed it up, adapted. And look what they did. Martinez, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, I've spoken about him numerous times on here, coming up clutch with 4 to 5 top class saves. That's what it takes. Duran coming on yet again, impact sub, beautiful finish. And even then, even with Emery, by the way, people, Ramsey had to go off after something like 25, 30 minutes. He brings on Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey's not having a good game. So what does he do? He takes him off in the second half. Elite management. I just love it. And what I was feeling, and I'll bring this to Leeds just to keep everyone like, oh, he's bigging up Villa. I was thinking as a Leeds fan, last night I had to justify why we only got a point against Norwich City in the Championship. And also looking at and hearing, you know, because I got a lot of Villa friends and obviously Rich from Five, who's been on the channel before, is very happy with the way things are going. They're looking at these players now as I look at the Champions League team back in the day. Duran's going to probably be there, Viduka or Smith or whatever. And Unai Emery's going to be there, David O'Leary. I mean, Unai Emery's probably a better coach, but you know what I'm trying to say here. And it's just that feeling. And looking at Villa Park the way it was, I was picturing Ellen Road being in that position. Us being back in the big time again, thinking, imagine Ellen Road with that Champions League music again. It would be electric. It would be absolutely electric. And just look, big up, man. Big up to him. Michael here saying, Spartan v Villa, they were below us. It's the goal as well. We were in with a chance if we were determined. Yeah. And it's not about the lack of spending, people, because I want to go back to this. I pulled it up. I had to pull it up because it's not that they just spent more money. They just spent it better. We spent money. We're still paying for it, as they'd like to keep reminding us in regards to the credit card spending. We just spent it very poorly because we spent nearly 200 million, or left the Premier League with a near 200 million pound, you know, credit card bill in terms of players that we're still paying for now that have zero future at the football club. I'm going to keep dreaming, Annabelle, and that's why I will never stop talking about what it will take to get to those points. You know, we can keep on pretending that we've got some of the best players, or these players can go on to the next level and get us to where Villa are now. It's just not true. And when you look at the teams, look what Villa were doing there. They had Martinez, spent 20 million, best 20 million they'll ever spent. Luca Dean, proper left back, something we never invested in. Douglas Luiz, who's now left the club at the time. Kamara, who was a free transfer there that we didn't invest in. We just tried to keep going with Click and Forshaw and Lewis Bate, you know, Jacob Ramsey, who's just grown even more from this period. They've still got Wendy and Watkins, of course. But look at what we're still housing from this time. And when you look at this team, by the way, people, we were, like I say, we were very lucky to get 31 points when you look back. We can laugh now because the soreness has kind of gone. Hopefully we'll learn our lessons. 49ers will learn our lessons when we get back there. Look what we was trying to put out. You know what I mean? And more to the point, we've still got some of these players. I mean, I don't count Strike in there. I mean, even though at this time he was not good, you know, he lost all his confidence, but it is what it is. Mellier's still here, but look at the bench. Not one. I don't think one of these players are still at Villa now. I don't think one of them is. I think all of these players, I don't know about Caden Young. He may be a youngster there still, but all these players that are on the subs bench for Villa here are no longer there. That's what it takes. It's ruthless. You churn out the players that you are saying, thank you for getting us to this point, but we need to get to the next level now. So you're going to have to leave in order for us to make space for someone else. And that's just something that we haven't done. And I'm envious of it. Not jealous. Jealous is an ugly feeling. I'm envious of it. And I'm just hoping that once we do go up, people, that we do the same thing. Because I'm looking at their key areas yesterday. Martinez, their manager, their striker. If we go up with the ones that we have now in terms of them being key, we may as well just book our flight, our space back for the championship the next year, because we won't survive. We absolutely won't. Yeah, they have a proper manager. I mean, it goes without saying. He's tested. He's battle tested. He's the one, and that's the difference. You know, when we speak about Farke, I'm not going to put down Farke, but that's why I say I'm indifferent to Farke. I've got no strong feeling on him either way at this point. Whereas if I had Emery in charge, it would be like when Bielsa was here in the championship. And I don't want to bring this back to Bielsa. I'm talking about in the championship where he excelled. It would be like that. It would be like it doesn't matter what happens. We've got this guy at the helm. But when you go up the levels, that's when you need to up everything, coaches, players, everything. And obviously looking at this team, we just didn't do that. Okay, yeah, I mean, look, Hyru here saying Marino is still with Villa on loan at Forest, yeah, but the point is, Hyru, is that they've churned out all the other names and even some in their starting lineup, and they've got better. They've got absolutely better and kept the players that can keep them or help them, I should say, in their current phase, like a John McGinn. You know what I mean? A midfield just run around dynamite. He didn't play last night; he was injured, but they've kept the better players from that period and added the quality to it. Just envious, man. Just envious. Yeah, Tom Johansson with England's number 9. I know. Lee Cookie in the house. What's going on, Cookie man? Who says Leeds can't get back to the Promised Land Champions League? It will happen. It has to. Cookie, we've got all the minerals to do it. Cookie, you know that as well. And the reason why I liken us to Villa is because it's just so similar. I'm not talking about us being a Huddersfield or another team like a Norwich or anything like that. We're Leeds United. We're bringing big bucks. So there was always the scope to recruit, and we're a draw in the Premier League. We're a draw in the Championship. Look at the players we've got in our second year in the Championship in terms of Ramazani coming to Leeds United. You think he's coming for 12 million to some other club? Probably not. But it's Leeds United. We're still a draw, and when we're in the Premier League, we did not take advantage of that enough. So when we go back up, learn from those mistakes. Because, like I say, being a Brentford, being a Brighton is cool. Looking at Villa in the Champions League, that's where I want us to go back to, people. And, there it is. There it is. But, yeah, we're going to have to speak about Sunderland now, and that's fine. But just, man, just as a regular football fan, I've said the same about West Ham when they're in the Europa Conference League, winning that. The buzz you'd get as a fan just winning a European trophy. And think about that for Leeds. I tell you, I wouldn't stop streaming. I'd be streaming for 48 hours straight, man. They couldn't get me off here, man. I'd be just chugging super malts all day. But listen, people, shout out to you, Tyler. I think, Tyler, you're the Chelsea fan, aren't you? But shout out to you, Tyler. Thank you for the super chat. But yeah, people, Sunderland tomorrow. It's going to be a tough test as we move into this one. They are top of the league. They've won all 4 games at home, and I don't, and I think, they haven't conceded a goal. Yeah, they haven't conceded a goal at home yet. This is going to be a tough, tough test. You know what I mean? This is going to be a tough one. Even Tuesday, they took care of business against Derby County 2-0. Off you go. And even if you look at this result against Burnley, who I do consider to be one of the favourites for the top 2 as well, they had a player sent off and still took care of Burnley 1-0 at home. This is not going to be an easy game. This is one of those where, even though we're Leeds United, even though we've got a real good squad, this is going to be a real tough test in terms of the game. So let me just click off some of these. I got so many tabs up, and half of them are nothing to do with us. But in terms of the game, what I want to see in terms of us trying to get the win is from our key players, from our stars, and that's why I've put in the thumbnail, the stars must shine, because we took those players off for a reason against Norwich. We were in the ascendancy, and I do believe, it's hindsight, of course. I do hypothetical, I should say, that I do think if they stayed on 5-10 minutes more, I think we get a second goal and we go on to win the game against Norwich. Well, we've taken them off to preserve them for this game on Friday. It's got to count. Otherwise, we would have taken them off for absolutely no reason against Norwich. And this game, which is probably the toughest out of the 2 anyway, is going to go on in vain. So I want to see Ramazani, Nonto, Aronson. I want to see those 3 go at Sunderland, because they're going to have to. Sunderland, I'm going to bring up their team in just a moment, but they've got real good strengths in their team, and they're going to have to be at their absolute best. Absolute best. Deshaun saying must win, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's one of these things where I said 4 points would have been great, but I was going off the basis that we were going to beat Norwich and then draw at Sunderland. I do think that we should still be aiming for a win at Sunderland. There's no game in this division where we should be thinking a draw will be fine. But if you're going to make a statement, especially against a team that are top of the table, who are unbeaten at home, haven't conceded, this is how you do it. This is how you say to the top 3 currently, who are there by merit, but there by results, to say, no, actually, we're here. We can then go on to 18 points with Sunderland and say, come back here, because Leeds United are about to go on top. We're about to pounce and get in that top 2 and make a statement. That's what you have to do in order to finish in the top 2. These are the type of games that you have to win, as well as the ones against all the teams at the bottom. So yeah, for me, I think that we should be going into it with a must-win mentality, and I hope Daniel Farke is doing so, because otherwise we made those changes against Norwich for absolutely zero reason in the end. Let's have a look. Cookie saying, I'm going against Sunderland. We'll win 1-2, 2-3. Lee Cookie, I like this about you. You always hedge your bets when it comes to score predictions. We're not doing that yet, but Cookie always gives about 3 score predictions, man. He spreads the bets. I like that though. I like that. Yeah, Matt saying big statement to go there, win and go top. Absolutely would be. I mean, look, Sunderland's record is what it is, but us being Leeds United and being the team that we are, with the manager we have with this pedigree at this level, we should be going there and saying we're the ones that beat this record that you've got, which is very good, and we go there and get the victory. Will it happen? We shall see. Something else that we need to do better, and I want to highlight this. I won't just talk about Champions League here. I'll bring it to something that's relative to our league. Stoke City yesterday, battered. I mean, they blammed Portsmouth to smithereens. It wasn't even funny. And Tom Cannon getting 4 goals. Now, let me just say this, because I know when people see this, they should say, we should sign Tom Cannon. No, I'm not saying that. But the variation of Tom Cannon's goals yesterday was a lot of things that we just don't do at this point in time. You know, I keep seeing and reading the things about Joseph, and he's not good enough. He's not doing enough, which is not true. What I saw from Tom Cannon's goal yesterday was a variation. There was one free kick. I mean, the goalkeepers in this league, as Jayden Bogle said just the other week, if you get the shots on target, they're more likely to go in. And especially at this level, the goalkeepers are just poor. The Portsmouth goalkeeper had an absolute nightmare. Free kick just went through his hands. But it's more about the movement. There was a ball that was played through the middle to Tom Cannon, just one around the defense, through the defense, I should say, and he gets to it and tucks it in. Joseph isn't getting those opportunities, people. He's not getting those. There was crosses into the box. We don't do that. We need to be more varied with our attacks. Get more crosses into the box. Let something bounce. Let something fall to a player and get a goal. We need to be more varied in our attacks in order to keep it exciting, keep it fresh, keep the opposition guessing as well, move them about a bit because Portsmouth were absolutely all over the place as well. But that's because Stoke were moving the ball quickly, and we know when we move the ball quickly, no one can touch us. Um, Richard, yeah, okay. Seaside of TV saying thanks for the content, KG. No problem, man. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Matt saying without our two CDMs, it could be a shootout and transitional game. Felt like Norwich. We felt like Norwich were more. Okay, what are we saying here, Matt? Felt like versus Norwich, we were more open in the middle due to profiles. Okay, got you. Yeah, and listen, I'm going to get my preferred 11 in a bit, but that's something else I was going to mention, Matt. Um, we have to be a bit more dynamic in midfield. Once again, I said it in yesterday's stream, but I'll say it again. The central midfielders need to do a little bit more for me in terms of the of what we're getting when we're going forward. Because at the moment, as good as Tanaka's passing has been, and the one that he set up for the other week for Nanto to pass to Peru was good. Need to see more of that because for me, yesterday the game against Norwich was just a steady Eddie performance from both of them, from both Rothwell and Tanaka. Now these guys will be more settled into starting. I expect to see a little bit more dynamism. Sorry, and we will have to get that because Sunderland's midfield is good, which I will also bring up as well. Let's have a look here. 3 points versus Norwich. Okay, okay. Let me just move on. Let me just want. Yeah, I know, Matt. How do I want a goal from a central midfielder? Dreamy. Yeah, set pieces as well. There's just so many things that we are lacking at this point in time, and we're still doing well, people. Let me not get that message lost. We're still, before the Norwich game, still 2 points per game. That's where you want to be for the top two. But there are other things that could help us get 3 points consistently in games, and that's the aim of the game, to get consistent wins. And there's still elements of the games that we're missing: set pieces, goals from midfield, goal from different areas, attacks from different areas. Everything's still coming down the left in the main. Don't think we utilizing Bogle to his best ability as well, who's improving game upon game. So yeah, there's a lot of things we can definitely improve. Yeah, Hanky is saying Fopo on the cutback is our cheat code for goals if it's not clicking. But again, Fopo, not in the Norwich game, in the one before, he was doing that really well. The Norwich game, not so much. You know what I mean? It went back to the games before where Fopo was getting forward, getting those touches in the final third, but he wasn't delivering anything special. He wasn't delivering any good crosses. So yes, I agree with that, but Fopo has to do that consistently as well if he's allowed to do so. Let me just get this here. So, yeah, giving you Sunderland's thing here. Okay, Sunderland's team. Now, I don't know if they're going to line up with this again. This was their team against Derby, but they line up their midfield with Chris Rigg and Jude Bellingham, Joby Bellingham. People is a dynamic midfield. So we're going to have to do the work in the midfield, win those midfield battles. And if Gruev isn't fit, it's going to be on Rothwell to be that guy in midfield to get involved in that, get the ball moving. Tanaka also, they're going to have to try and win that midfield battle. Aronson's going to probably have to come back, drop back a little bit and help out too, because they have a very good midfield at this level in terms of their youth, their hunger, their energy, and their eye for goal too. And we're going to have to be mindful of that. Their fullbacks as well. Hume is a defensive-minded player. That's where Ramazani's going to have to shine and get on the ball, get running at him. Him and Nanto are going to have to move him around. And Sirkin as well at left back. He's a decent left back in all fairness, but that's where Aronson is going to have to move him around as well. So in terms of my team, people, I've gone with this because I'm assuming that Gruev is going to be out. Let me just take a sip of drink here. Let me just. Yeah, and Darren here saying for sure Tanaka and Rafa need to step up and show us what they can offer. Yeah, I'm just very weary, Darren, about giving them over credits for the bare minimum. And even someone in the comments yesterday, and nothing against the comment, but he said, I think Tanaka did okay. He gave 100%. You and I can give 100%, but that doesn't mean anything. It has to involve other intangibles. It has to involve game change and stakes of your play. It has to. It can't just involve I've run around. The heat map is fine. You guys know how I feel about heat maps. But what did you do in the game? And I just don't remember anything great that Ruffwell and Tanaka did in the Norwich game. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more impact from our central midfield, and they're more than capable to do so. Definitely. Deshaun, is there any groove of news? No, and I would guess that he's going to be out for this one. I'd be very surprised if he's ready. I feel like if he was going to be ready for the game, I think Farker would have probably given us an indication that he's actually back in training, etc. But I think he's going to miss this one. I think it's just a case of how long is he going to be out. So the team that I've gone for, like someone says in the comments, I think it pretty much picks itself. But Furpo, Strout, Roden, Bogle, Melier, let's get them back in. Ruffwell, Tanaka, and I've put Ruffwell not as a straight DM, but just more of a central DM that can come back, but can also operate in the midfield, because we're going to need him to do that. He does have the passing range to get forward and set people off. We're going to need a little bit more of that in this game for me from Joe Ruffwell. Tanaka as well, being the midfield player that he is, I feel like he can do a bit more. He did tire towards the end against Norwich, so hopefully he's rested and recovered for this one, because he's going to need all the energy against that Sunderland midfield. Yeah, Paul, exactly, man. 100% effort. That's your job, Roy Keane. It is. He's right, though. 100% effort. I mean, I don't even commend that, because that should just be a given. Everyone should be given 100% effort. But what else did they give? What else? How else did they influence the game? Yeah, Deshaun, I'd have the best heat map you've ever seen if I was given a chance. Doesn't mean I'd be any use. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of heat maps, man. I think it's this the way modern football, man. Oh, he ran around the place, but yeah, what did he do? But listen, here we are, and just in line because of Sunderland's defense, I usually have Aronson with the arrow going up in terms, or in the middle. But I think that he needs to get at Sirkin, who can be got at. He can be got at. I think Sirkin's good going forward, but I think Aronson can get at him, and maybe him and Nonto will have to interchange to keep it fresh. But this is how I would set up against Sunderland tomorrow. Joseph as well, give him some service. People gonna, if he doesn't do anything yet again tomorrow and he's got no service, it's gonna. I'm not even gonna probably answer it, because it's nonsensical to even say that he's not doing enough. Norwich was probably his worst game, and I think even he would admit that. But he's going to get those games, but at least give him some opportunities to miss. You know what I mean? Give him some opportunities to miss. Yeah, he was the fall short, the heat map king. I know. Yeah, Nige saying liking Nonto through the middle at 10. But yeah, that's where he's been playing, Nige. And that's where he got that, where he picked up the ball from Strauch and got the assist for Ramazani. Nonto is a game changer, and I feel like I've been underselling him in this period. But it's just about getting more from other players to get up to Nonto's level, because Nonto's been brilliant for us. He's been absolutely brilliant, and I should sing his praises a little bit more. But we need other people to get up to that. Ramazani, who's doing well now, 2 goals, 1 assist in 3 starts. We're going to need that again against Sunderland, who are very tough to break down. So yeah, listen, it's one of these things where it's going to be a hard game. But if you want to make a statement, if you want to go to the top 2 and shake it up, then you've got to win this game. Listen, last night, people, I had my eye on, I didn't watch it in full. I had it on the second screen, but I was enthralled with the Villa Bayern Munich battle. But Sheffield United got out of town 1-0, own goal as well, by the way. Get out of there with 3 points. That's what it takes. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be spectacular. You just have to get the points on the board and make your statement and go on a winning run. Look at Sheffield United form. They're unbeaten, 4 wins in 5. That's how you get it done, people. And they're only on that point, obviously, because they had the 2 points deducted. For anyone that's probably wondering why their points aren't larger, they had a 2-point deduction, but they're getting business done. And that's what we need to do against a team like Sunderland, so we can get this back to where I think it should be. And that's the Leeds United, Burnley, Sheffield United 3 battling for the top 2. Otherwise, we're going to allow other teams to get in there like we did with Ipswich and say, they done it Ipswich, where Ipswich shouldn't have done it Ipswich. We should have done a Leeds. We kind of did in the end, actually, didn't we? We kind of did in the end, but it's one of those. But listen, people, let's go for score predictions. And as you can see from the table, for both teams, we've conceded 5, they've conceded 6. I do see this being a low-scoring game tomorrow. I don't think this is going to be very exciting. I think it's going to be a tactical battle. And just listening to, just reading the comments as well from the Sunderland manager, Labrie, We know this in regards to Leeds United. We know this team has many strengths. It will be a good challenge that we have prepared well for, which is always scary when teams over prepare for us. Because I don't know if we over prepare for teams, but in terms of them, yeah, you're just talking about Jan Pervader's injured. Oh, what a shock. Okay, best wishes to him, though. Best wishes to him. Oh man, Jan Pervader, you guys, man. He could be our next Pablo. You funny people, man. Funny people. Tri-human circuit, yeah, very important to what they do. And yeah, that's what I was just picking up for them. Yeah, we've got to be ready for those guys, man. Have to be ready. So yeah, so there'll be no Pervader, people. No Pervader. Let's have a look. James saying 2-0 Leeds. Okay. Deshaun 3-0 Joseph hat-trick. That would be nice. Adsir saying Leeds 1-0. Gavin saying 2-0. I'm assuming he's saying Sunderland, Gavin, in terms of Darren. If we get this result, I'd be absolutely buzzing. 4-0, man. I mean, we've got the capabilities, but I don't know, man. I don't know. What's everyone saying? Annabelle saying heart says 2-1 Leeds, head says 2-1 Sunderland. I understand. Jack saying 2-0 Sunderland. I think Sunderland are going to slaughter us on the counter. Yeah, I mean that is something. Patrick Roberts, of course, who at this level is a good player, as I mentioned before. Joby and other players, yeah, they've got threats on the counter for sure. Yeah, he is Chris Riggs. Chris Rigg, I should say. Isn't it Riggs or Rig? Which one is it? Rig. I knew it was Rig. Yeah, it is Rig. Yeah, I think he's just turned. He's either 17 or he's just turned 18. He's a good prospect, man. Good prospect. I can see why clubs are going to be monitoring him. Maybe they're looking at him to be like another, Archie Gray, or who's that player that went to Palace? Forgotten his name. Shouldn't forget his name. But yeah, from Blackburn, that player as well that went to the Euros. There is talent in the league to take away, and we're going to have to be mindful of Chris Rigg. Yeah, for sure, Gavin, for sure. Ming saying 2-1 Leeds. What else we saying here? I know I missed a few. Hyru going for a 1-1 draw. Okay, yeah, Wharton, of course it is. Of course, Adam Wharton, of course. Well, how can I forget that? But yeah, in terms of my score prediction, people, I'm with Annabelle. I've got 2 in my head. I'm kind of doing a cookie here. I'm spreading the bets of the results, but I want us to win this game, and I do feel we're capable to do so if our stars come out and play, and we deliver service that can our striker can feed off of. If we're going for a win, I'm going to go with a 1-0 Leeds win, but I can also see, and I don't know why it's scoreless, but I can also see 2-0 Sunderland. So I've got 1-0 to Leeds or 2-0 to Sunderland. I can't see anything else. So if it's a draw, okay, we'll deal with that then. But those are the 2 results, people. And because I own the channel, I'm going with 2 results because I'm allowed. All right. So there we go. I can't tell you which. My heart is saying 1-0 Leeds, get out there with a nice away win before the international break. But for some reason, I can see Sunderland winning 2-0 as well. So I'm going to just leave it there. All right. Leave it as there. Martin here saying we can win if Sunderland let us. It's in their hands, not ours. Ooh. Ooh. I mean, yeah, I mean, look, our injury situation isn't the best, but when you have players on the pitch like Nanto, when you've got Strauch in defense, even Joe Roden, park that one against Norwich away, Joe, and get back to your best. I think that's harsh to say that it's in their hands. I think that if we take the game to Sunderland, we have all the tools to win the game. It's just, are we going to set up in that way? Are we going to move the ball quick enough? Will we be allowed to do one-touch football away from home and try and get Sunderland on the back foot? Or are we going to allow them to get back into those deep blocks if they're going to play that way when we've got the ball? Or we'll be able to exploit spaces? It's going to be interesting, isn't it? It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Listen, both teams played on Tuesday. Yes, Sunderland didn't travel. Don't want to hear any excuses about how many games in so many days. It doesn't matter. We need to get the job done. And it's as simple as that. Yeah, Jamie, exactly. Yeah, we can beat anyone in this league. Absolutely. Of course we can. Of course, it doesn't mean we're going to, as we found out against Norwich and, Burnley at home. But we've got more of a chance of winning in this division than most teams do. So let's get on it. Let's get on it, shall we? But listen, people, that is the preview. I will be back after the game tomorrow for the match reaction. So please join me live then. Looking forward to the game, even though I think it's, going to be low scoring. But Listen, Leeds United, get the job done, make a statement. Let's go top of the league. Let's do it, man. Let's go, people. Like the video before you go. Drop your comments, score predictions, team selections, whatever you want below. And I'll see you in the next stream, people. Peace out.